I switched to the wrong scene. I told you I have too many things going on in OBS.
Out there, don't get too excited.
And not, yeah, we're not gonna have like another session this week. I wish.
Even though, yeah, half of you guys want to.
And I also have to switch out Nick's because he didn't make it.
Dun, dun, dun.
But hello, everyone.
No.
This is episode 8 recap for we're doing Behind the Rolls right now. Thank you for hanging out. Today we have our lovely DM, Light. Hello,
Hola.
Light.
Hello.
And thank you for the last minute sub. We have Neffy. Neffy, how are you?
I'm doing good.
We
Some people will probably sick of my voice by now.
we pulled you from your stream and we pulled all your people to
Yeah, but I was gonna raid you anyways. That was always the plan. So
yeah. Actually, and after we talk a little bit about the episode and stuff, I'm gonna ask you just a little bit about like the things that you're doing on your stream, just for people to know. But yeah, let me work on getting Nyx out of here. And Light, do you want to kind of start us off on like what the episode was all about?
Do I? I guess. Let's see. What happened last night was a lot of talking. It basically kind of like started out where, you know, everybody has questions. Everybody wants to know what's going on, and want to know what the captain is basically up. I know that Lauren, aka Brick, was basically elected to go and speak to the captain, and on his way he noticed that somebody's door was ajar.
Yeah, you can say that.
mm-hmm.
So I mean that's a starting point, right?
That is a starting point. Yeah. So well, before, just so that everyone's aware, we did get Minerva, aka Nikki. We got her caught up because she missed the session before that. So I wouldn't say like retcon, but we did a bit of a prequel to where we were at, just to give her an opportunity to get caught up. And she got a chance to speak to the Voodoo Queen and have her own reading, which was good. Kind of a flashback, yeah, that's a good way to see it. And then it all kind of came back together to like current times, and this is kind of what was happening. Was it well deserved? I think so, probably. Yeah. I didn't see it coming, but I guess we were warned, right? Victor's room got trashed by an undead monkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see, we have a little Discord, and I kind of use a gift, and it was a method to my madness. And all I knew is I wanted this undead monkey to come back, and it did. Things happen for reasons.
Yeah. It did.
I'm sad that the monkey is not going to be around anymore. It was short-lived.
I wanted to teach it how to
Short-lived.
pickpocket so bad.
You know what? Who knows? Things happen for reasons. Who knows? Maybe something will happen. You know?
We're just going to start killing monkeys, hoping that we can
Oh
all
my
get joking.
Oh no.
Like it can join Team Rogue, you know? There's yeah, so Victor was in for a surprise. There was feces all over his wall. All over his walls, and like the entirety of his room was a mess. But DM, over the table question: was this an illusion or was it a thing?
It was an actual thing.
Oh man, because like it was so easily cleaned up and everything got fixed that I wasn't
Well,
sure.
you got to think about curses, right? As a curse, he had a choice. Basically, come clean or just continue on with the ruse. And the one thing is, I kind of talked a little bit with Spelsey and what's his name, Magpie, Neffy, a
I
little bit
know
last night,
I'm always calling people by their name, by their character names.
right?
It's a curse.
I'm glad. At least I know you're talking to me.
Yes. It like he didn't have to say all that in front of you guys. He could have actually taken the time, like he could close his room and said out loud, like I apologize. I'm sorry. And that would have been one of the triggers. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting what I set up for you guys, and it's totally up to you what you do with it. And to to have that monkey come in and talk, which apparently some of you guys actually thought it was adorable.
It was a cute voice, yeah.
Yay.
And it's just one of those things. You got to think on like you guys wouldn't really know too much about voodoo, but you would understand it to the point because the voodoo queen, she is
Mm-hmm.
all seeing, powerful. You don't know what her limit is. You know that there's spirits on that island, and basically it was plain said out loud. Respect the island, and the island will respect you. And in a
Yeah.
way, the island wasn't respected. I mean, you just killed a creature for for a sacrifice to, which we all understand. But at the same time, Victor just discarded the animal. Just kind of tossed it somewhere out there. And so what happened? You disrespected the island. So,
Yeah, like it would have probably been entirely different if he had done what he did, buried the animal, maybe, shown a bit of respect. But that's not who Victor is. Victor is very what's the right word? He's very impulsive in the things that he does. He likes to just do things and then worry about the consequences. And sometimes he doesn't worry about the consequences at all, but it's because of how he was raised or who he is. He's never really had to. And yeah, props to Sin. Like I've said it before, but like he sticks to that character very well done. Also, it's quick to assume things. Oh yeah, for sure. But it's true to his character, and it's something that will either become character development or the rest of us will develop in accepting how he is.
Yeah, I think that things will balance out eventually. But I know, like, for Magpie, her biggest thing was the lying. And not so much the lying to them, but you just saw what breaking the rules did the night before with the two thieves. And knowing that wasn't done against the island. And yet their souls were still being tortured there because of what they did. You're being punished for something that you did on the island. She could tell that he was lying, and you're still going to sit there knowing that there's a risk, that there's a greater punishment coming for you, and you're just going to keep denying and lying about it.
Yeah, I think there's been a running theme for the last couple sessions of like actions have consequences. And we've seen that multiple times already, or like 2 different examples. And I think it's going to keep happening as well. I don't think it's going to um I don't think it's going to end anytime soon or punish the group.
No.
That's actually the point that that Voren made to Victor. It's like your actions are no longer your own, you know. Anything you do can affect the group. And that's what you have to think about.
Mhm.
I mean, it can happen to any of you guys too.
Right,
It,
exactly.
it's just one of those things. That's why it's like another great example. I think was maybe episode 3 or 4 when you guys went down to go kill the rats for the rat tails, and as soon as that all happened, which ended up being like goblins, Vorn found a chest, opened it, was about to take the goblet, and then he noticed basically a calling card kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then he put it back because basically it was like part of the guild. And he
And there are
one of
rules.
the and there's rules, and one of the rules is don't steal from others.
Yeah.
So
And I think that if anybody else hadn't respected Voren's decision to not take that, and they would have done it, then that would have been just another example of actions have reactions and everything has a consequence, because it would have come back to Voren, even though he didn't do it. But at that point, at least everybody respected my wish and didn't take it. But yeah, that theme, I think, is going to continue to play out through our group for a bit.
I can't wait.
and you know, like, okay, another perfect example of it within the same moment or scene, actions have consequences. Voren stood up for Victor. But maybe what he said was a bit insensitive. He didn't mean it as such. But he didn't sugarcoat it, you know? And it could have been interpreted in any way or shape. And that's going to have its own consequences, you know?
Oh yeah. Definitely going to be consequences with that.
Yeah, because I think one of the points that he brought up, he was like, to Magpie, that like, you know, do you ask for permission from everyone that you steal from, right? And that was a very personalized attack, because Voren and Magpie have similarities, right? And like their professions. And I think that was Voren's way of telling her exactly like, or like telling her something in the way that she would understand, because it applies to him as well. And that example was like the one thing he could say. It's like, she's either gonna understand this or she won't. And that's gonna have its own consequences. And same thing for, you know, Spelsy. Euphemia was like offended by Voren's words, and you know, we'll have that conversation. We'll jump off that bridge when we get to it, like I always say. How do you think, DM, that whole, did you expect this internal turmoil, drama when it came to this? Or do you think it was just did you initially think it was just going to be a funny thing where, oh, like, well, now there's an undead monkey and now Victor has to apologize? Did you think it was going to cause tension in the group?
Yes and no. It really depends on like the situation. I mean, I placed, let me see. The placement of the monkey was going to happen, and it would have been whoever went down the hallway first. It could have been, you know, Victor could have been like, "Oh, I need to go to my room," or even later on that night, you know, because people are quote unquote doing their jobs. You know, it could have been later. So it really would depend on that situation. But it happened to be Warren who wanted to talk to the captain and, seeing the door ajar and him, talking to the captain coming back and then seeing what happened. Um, I guess that's how the dominoes effect goes.
Yeah,
I was, yeah, and the whole him keeping it to himself as a secret and, lying in front of everyone. Um, even doing it right in front of the captain.
right. And above the table, did the captain know all along?
The captain knew that there was a monkey. The captain also knew it was undead monkey.
Yeah.
And that's why she says, "Well, I thought it was your monkey." And she even mentioned, like, "Hello, that's my friend, the voodoo queen. That's the island." So there was hints and stuff that was said. And so when you guys were arguing or talking or whatever, it was just you got to picture almost her just sitting down, putting her feet up and smoking a cigar, listening to you, looking at you guys. And um, having Victor lying in front, which did she know? Maybe. But at the same time, she allowed you all to talk. But I would say this, when she started to talk to Victor or say things, he was the one that walked away from the situation. So she took as, okay, he doesn't want to hear what I want to say.
Yeah. Oh, Victor.
We all have our issues.
We do. We do. And honestly, like from my character's point of view, Voren likes to remain neutral for the most part because he has learned that staying in the middle gets you more information than choosing a side. And that doesn't always happen, right? There are Voren's got his own personality, right? There are things that trigger him to one decision or another, like just like anybody else. But he's always trying to keep peace or like do what he thinks needs to be done. That was also something that I did when Light and I were playing Baldur's Gate with Voren. Was like, can I talk my way out of this before we do anything?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but that's kind of he always resets to that position. And I mean, we'll see. There's definitely going to be a lot more talks to be had, a lot more disagreements. But all in all, I am enjoying seeing so many different personalities clash because clashing makes you learn more about each other than everyone just pretending that everything's okay, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. Like yesterday's session was intense. I fucking loved it. There was no combat, but there was a lot of conflict. And and it was all just character development conflict. And I thought it was awesome. But so getting back to it. Moving along. That happens, right? We then have Minerva that goes with Warren to chat with Victor just to kind of explain what actually happened. Minerva surprised me because I thought she went to get more clarification on. I thought she was going to approach it from a religious point of view, and she wanted more clarification to be able to understand his choice based on religion. Um, but she went kind of almost apologetically because of her religion. She understood, and that was a different angle. And I thought that that was kind of awesome. It took like me and and Brick by surprise. Um, and then the rest of the group is still feeling some kind of way.
I will have to say that it was nice to see more of Minerva this week.
I agree.
And Euphemia.
Yes, I agree. I like that that Minerva got her chance to shine a bit, especially with like her little flashback, getting her caught up. Um, Nikki seems to be getting a lot more comfortable with the idea of like D&D and role playing on a tabletop type of environment as opposed to Conan, and she's great. I think she needs to give herself a bit more credit, but she's doing really good, as is everyone else. So from that conflict, how do you think? And if you don't want to get into spoilers, you don't have to. But
I always feel like you want, but it's okay.
uh, this question, like for Magpie, what in that conflict, in that situation, in that scene, what affected her the most from what happened, and how do you think that she's dealing with it, or as opposed to how she should be dealing with it, or anything like that?
Oh boy. Not good. I know that I talked to Light about it last night a bit, but I kind of feel like she's taking quite a few steps back. Um it wasn't just the confrontation about what was going on with Victor, but there was a lot of things that she ended up processing internally that has basically put it back at square one. Keeping people at arm's length. And I don't know if anybody picked up on it, but she hasn't been coming to the meals. Like, she doesn't eat a lot to begin with, but she would at least show up for the meals, and she hasn't since that fight. Oh, actually, since the dinner, I should say.
Yeah.
And she's been trying to keep herself busy to make herself useful. But there's a lot going on in her head right now that is not in a good spot.
I can only imagine, because for her, it's been a struggle from the beginning to even be in a group environment. And I feel like there was times that we can see the progress she had made with getting more comfortable talking to the group, being more like out there with her opinions and her plans and her ideas, and it was great. But now I feel like this kind of thing almost proves her idea that that she's better off without people. And I don't think it's a healthy thought. Just because there's conflict doesn't mean that you have to like eliminate people. But I understand why this would be a couple of steps backwards for her, because it goes towards like what she felt like from the beginning.
I would say that you're close to what's going on with her, but not quite. But it's still not a good headspace for her to be in, and it doesn't help in the long run either way. But I'll leave that part for people to find out in character.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Spelsy says Euphemia is still kind of hurt, even with the conversation with Victor. She was trying to get him to understand, but he isn't. No, I mean, I think that when someone is hurt for whatever reason, it's very difficult to see somebody else's point of view. Because Victor is kind of like in defensive mode. And it's hard to take yourself out, like outside of your shoes, when you need to be in your shoes to protect yourself. And I think that that's kind of where he is right now. He feels the need to protect himself, protect his pride, protect his name, who he is. So it's going to be very hard for him to say, oh, I understand with what I understand what you're saying. Not that I think Victor is that type of person anyway. But Voren's never had an issue talking with him. But I don't know. It could just be because their moralities could be easily skewed. She takes curses. Yeah, no, like the whole thing with a curse is very different to all of us. I assume like a curse to Voren would probably dismiss it as some kind of BS, you know? Like he doesn't know anybody that's been cursed or if it's even real.
I mean, now that's a question to you or for Basie Voren. Now you just said that, would he believe in curses? Because you just saw Undead Monkey.
See, that's a good question. Because I feel like Voren is so logically minded that he still doesn't think like, oh, this was a curse. He thinks somebody did this, you know? Like somebody did this to make Victor aware of what he did. But like to him, it doesn't register as a curse. It registers as a punishment. Which, you know, like outside of the game, that's kind of exactly what a curse is. You a punishment that you bring upon yourself for one reason or another. And yeah, they can yeah. But Voren doesn't see it that way. Voren sees it as there's people that can do magic, there's people that can do good, there's people that can do bad. And for anything bad that happens, somebody did it, you know? He is so disconnected with like faith and religion and things like that he tries to find an explanation to every little thing. But his eyes are opening bit by bit. So I have a couple of questions. But let's see. I guess we can ask a couple of questions before we continue. I think there's been a couple of moments that I have felt something happens that I didn't expect at all, or that we have to pivot because of something that happens, and which happens in real life, right? So like it happens naturally in role playing. So what is, and this is for Neffy, what is the most surprising moment or decision that you feel Magpie has had so far in the campaign?
That's a good question. Oh, the one that I keep coming back to is the conversation with Victor when they had that sit down and she showed that she stole the vial from him, and was kind of surprised that he was as chill with it as he was. Mostly because she expected a lot more, like that was going to cause more problems than it was anything else. But like just being able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody one-on-one like that, or seeing that Voren and Celesty had tried to get her to eat food, was like big moments for her, because that was her letting down her guard a bit.
Yeah, I think those moments were great. I love the chat with Magpie and Victor. I thought there was a lot of intensity in that, but there was also a lot of I don't know, like genuine human emotions, even though nobody's a human. But like it felt very real in that for like a moment you guys didn't really seem the need to be like overly offensive or to push each other off or anything like that. You just had a conversation, and it could have gone any way. It could have been good. It could have been bad. So like I actually thought that was kind of surprising too. So that was a good choice. Because like especially when Victor got like loud and stuff, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Yep.
PvP. Oh, sorry.
PvP. The DMs always posting PvP in the chat.
It's gonna happen maybe one day. I don't know.
It might
Who
happen.
knows?
It might
Who
happen.
knows?
A couple of drinks and we don't know what's gonna happen. We'll have a bar fight. Okay, so go ahead.
Oh no, as I don't think I would do very well in a one-on-one fight with Victor. I know magic can be a glass cannon, and I don't know that I could avoid being hit by a lot of the stuff you could throw. Oh no, I know that, but
I won't say any secrets. I won't say spoilers.
I feel like I could take him.
I mean, to be honest, yes, wizards can be
They hit
awesome
hard.
in PvP. Yes, but they also have disadvantage when you get in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they are ranged when we are better up close, you know. So it's like boxing, you know. Somebody has good reach, you get nice and close, you take that advantage away from them. But also I feel like sometimes my rolls are a lot better than Sin's. So it all comes down to the dice.
Oh, and dice hate me. I don't know who they hate more this season, me or Spelzy, but
you know what?
I have notoriously bad luck when it comes to dice.
I wasn't even going to like mention this, but boy, were there some bad rolls last session.
I rolled a 6 and then a 7.
A lot of people were like rolling single digits most of the time. It was insane.
Yeah.
Oh man. But okay, so another question, and this one is for both of you guys. You can answer individually.
Mm-hmm.
If you could rewrite one scene or like an event to play out differently, what would you choose and why?
I think the tarot reading with the Voodoo Queen. I think that I would have changed her question a bit. It would still be why, but I think it would be more of why am I still here more than why wasn't I wanted.
Okay. What about you, Light?
I don't think I would change anything. The reason is because it's up to you guys on what happens. You know, each game might have something for you guys. And there's times where all of a sudden, y'all talk a lot. And it's good because that's how you guys would know each other or get to know each other or have that love-hate relationship with each other. And on my end is to get you guys somewhere so I can end session.
Right. To get from point A to B.
know?
Yeah.
Yes. So there are moments where I have to pick and choose and when it happened, which like how last night I go, okay, you guys finally made it to the water temple. In my head, I was actually hoping that you guys were actually going to go, well, you kind of went inside, but actually do stuff in the water temple, but it never got to that point.
Yeah.
Because you guys had lovely conversations, which that's fine. It just makes it fun for me because I might come up with stuff.
Right. Like it
Um,
opens more doors for you.
Yes, which fun fact, last night, I was setting up stuff in my head and I was like, this is what I'm going to add, this is what I'm going to do and everything. And I just let it flow for you guys. And see where it goes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, but yeah, sometimes you just have to be like, and all of a sudden the ship explodes. Like,
Yeah.
because we are all talkers. Apparently, we like to talk,
Yeah.
which is good for RP. But I think also our like the flashback, we stood there for a while, but it was kind of necessary because things changed slightly, and
Mhm.
and then we're right back to where we were. But
Yeah, and of course it did change a little bit because I wanted Nikki to be there and be involved and stuff.
yeah, I like that.
And
I
then
like that a lot.
yeah, and then I let you guys re-roll everything else because at the same time I don't remember what you guys rolled and I don't feel like looking it up.
I would have just said
Or
I had critical success on all my rolls last session.
and then it would have been automatically fail.
I went from an 18 to a 6.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but it was fun.
It was.
I enjoyed it.
I'm
Yeah.
just glad that it wasn't as bad as when Aisha was rolling and constantly getting single digits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that we want to cover on the ship before the big bad that we ran into?
Uh,
I think that was
What do
about
you
it,
wanna
right?
I think so.
I think that was about
yeah.
it. And then so we all started experiencing headaches when we got the lovely words that said roll Constitution saving throw. That's when everyone starts panicking. I think I actually did hit a crit success on that one.
You did.
And so there was the what the hell, the Cthulhu.
Mhm.
And then a very lovely cat decided to go and have a conversation with this thing. And so you said that you based it on a comic strip, right?
Yes. I remember this comic strip. I saw it like on Facebook. I mean, years ago. Years ago. And it's a cute little comic strip. Basically, Cthulhu rises up, and this cat basically says, "I felt you coming," and that is bad for humans. And I just remember it just being just this adorable thing. And I've actually done something in Conan when I was admin on a couple servers, which if somebody found this cat, they found a statue and they would actually have gotten a little gift. But I've always just dedicated to this comic book strip. So yeah, so this cat just woke up as everybody was kind of having these headaches and fear and all that stuff, and this cat just floated out to sea and basically told this avatar of Thusu to basically get out, or she or this cat's gonna summon her mistress. So
See, I know that you based it on that comic strip,
mhm.
but all I could think of is I remember seeing from Critical Role Season 2 the moment where they moved Frumpkin out into that creature in the astral sea, and it was just like this itty bitty tiny cat against this really giant monstrous being, and it's like that's all I could think of the entire time the cat was talking to Cthulhu. And I tried to find the image last night where we were talking, and I could not find it for the life of me.
So, I mean, that situation could have been a lot worse.
Oh, yes.
It could have. Yeah,
I was like, oh boy, this is where we all die.
I mean, it's funny because all of y'all are still level 3, and you all sing Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And that cracks me up.
Yep. This avatar that the cat got rid of, and it was like, oh boy, we can breathe. But now we have so many questions about this cat.
I know a lot of people trying to ask the questions, and the whole entire time it's just like, don't bother me, I'm sleeping.
Yeah, cats are the worst, dude.
They're sleeping kitties, so.
So after this, we continue our adventure. Euphemia has an idea. Oh boy. We continue our adventure, and we eventually make it to the water temple.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, the ship submerges, and insert panic mode here, because nobody was prepared for this. But apparently the ship is keeping us safe underwater, or like we can still breathe or live down here somehow. I will say, even when everyone like is discovering that they can breathe, Warren probably held his breath for as long as possible, because
Magpie would have done the same, which kills me because I was muted during that time saying it.
Oh no. Yeah, no,
that's a bad habit of mine.
That would have been scary. But we're at this water temple, and we received our tasks, or what our objectives are. Do you want to go over what some of the things are like? Just a couple of items we need to retrieve.
Yes. So basically I got the task of removing, to basically find 2 items and a altar. So they need to find a chain that is made out of gold, silver, platinum, and they need to find an orb that's blue, and they need to also find an altar that has a glowing rune on the bottom. That is what the captain has set for task, and basically split the group. Now, this group, as you all know, they are together. So technically it's not splitting the party. But the captain went with her group to also find the stuff. So.
Yeah, to see who finds what.
Mhm.
And I'm excited about this. I don't think I've ever done anything like this in a D&D game before. And the one shot that I did, we went underwater to like a sunken ship, but that was completely different. So I'm excited to see what this temple brings and what kind of problems come with it.
Oh yeah.
Because like temples, why are temples always so bad?
Are they?
Like there's always traps or some shit. Like this is supposed to be a temple.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they're meant to keep things out. I guess, but temples should be welcoming, and there should be like hot cocoa waiting for everyone.
In your dreams.
All right, so I have one more question. I want to know, what is something that, and I guess this is more for Magpie because you answering it would be spoilers. What is
Yes.
something that you hope to see in the next few sessions? Whether it's like storyline, character development, or like a big fight.
I would like to see some combat. Actually, I want to show off what Magpie is able to do as a rogue. Basically in a way to prove that she's useful to the group and not just like dead weight, which
Mhm.
is a little bit how she's feeling at the moment. But as far as like character development, how should I put it? Not so much like mending bridges, but I would like to see her get back to where she was a few
Couple of
sessions
sessions ago,
ago,
yeah.
rather than where she is right now, back at square one. And I don't know how that's going to happen because there's a lot of things going on in her head at the moment.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that get resolved
I
in
guess,
one way or another.
I mean, I guess it might. Maybe this time around it will happen faster or easier, since you are already getting some experience with this group of people. But we'll see. Yeah, that's kind of a good one. Because I also didn't realize for your other choice for like combat, I don't think you were in one of the previous fights that we had, which was against the goblins.
Yeah.
So Magpie hasn't done a lot of fighting.
Nope. The only fight that she's been in was the first one that we fought in session 1.
Yeah, and we almost didn't really do that as a group. So
Yep.
we haven't really proved anything. Vorin did not do good against the goblins. But it's fine. We're moving on.
Oh no.
It was, I just missed a lot. It was ridiculous. I think Victor at one point was like, "Are you
Aw.
gonna actually hit something?"
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah.
dexterous, not accurate.
Yeah. But you know, it is what it is. You DM, you can answer if you have an answer that isn't spoiler.
What's the question again?
What would you like to see happen in the next few sessions? Whether it's storyline or character development or fight.
I want a kumbaya moment with all of you. Reason or yeah, I guess the reason behind that is even though it's session 8 and then we're going on 9, you guys, in my opinion, need to get to know each other.
Mhm.
As yes, the floodgate opened with Victor, and he is now. He doesn't have any secrets. I mean, he probably does, but the big secret is out, and he could have had a choice of not saying anything at all. But he, in my opinion, which he has said, I think he just got scared.
Yeah, he panicked. That was a panic
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, and there was reasons why the Voodoo Queen said that. On was it episode 6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah, there's a reason why she said, "I know what you are." It's basically a warning. You know, it's just she could have done anything to any of you guys. Like, you know, if and just put it out here, nobody has this, but if somebody made a pact with a demon, she would have said, "Oh, I know what you done." You know, it's great examples.
Right.
But it's just one of those things. It's like, I'm just warning you. Don't do anything without going too much into it. Now, I guess we could have talked about that the other week, but he could have sat down and questioned her. Like, how do you know? it is all about questions. It's all about asking. And the one thing is, I really want to see more character development. I wanted to see you guys powwow, sit down and talk. And, it's like, I think session 2, you all made these questions to Celeste, which she, basically said everything what she could. I mean, not to say toss all your secrets out, because I love secrets. That's me. But yeah, it's like, is there pros and cons to you guys? Is there like, if you're like, to say your characters are afraid of spiders, something like that, some little tiny tidbits, because you guys are going to be together
Mhm.
for, and what if one of you guys have, I don't know, fear of mice? It's just something. Which, Warren got a taste of what Spelsey's character, her background a little bit. So,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to be in the next session. Well, maybe, who knows? But I think it'd be kind of cool to actually have that group sit down eventually. Might
Yeah.
take a couple more sessions.
Maybe after we're out of the temple and we can relax. Or who knows, maybe we'll have a campfire moment,
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me to answer the question, I'm actually hoping to get a moment to sit down with Minerva. Because there's the moon means something to Vorin, and he doesn't know what. He just knows he appreciates the presence of the moon, and like obviously I know. The DM probably knows.
Probably, I know.
But I think he wants to have a conversation with Minerva, as in like, what's so special about the moon,
Mhm.
and I think that's something that I'm excited about for like a character. So we'll see. But I think, yeah. So I think we broke up. The groups went their separate ways. We have our objectives, and that's kind of where that session ended. Except we also got into the story of the lords and ladies from the one shot that we did, which was characters that are in this world, some connected to us in more ways than others.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in trouble, but that was actually connected to the whole Cthulhu thing, and so we had to like do a brief bit of role play for that scenario at the end of the session. Are we gonna have a moment that like we're gonna have to be role playing both of these characters?
It's funny because I thought about that yet last night. So technically now those characters are mine. So I will be doing it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because
you're gonna have to do Victor's dad's voice, right?
I'm going to be ready for that.
You need a lot of gravitas to your voice. Get ready.
Hell no, that's going to ruin my voice. No, thank you.
At least it's not me, because I can't do voices. I have high, low, and my normal voice. That's it.
I've played with Sin a couple of times that he does that voice, and I'm like, how, dude? How do you have no respect for your throat? Like, I'm a full-time voiceover artist. I could not disregard the health of my throat that way by talking like that for so long. It's a voice. It's a good voice, but boy. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that you'll do your own version of it. And I think you'll do great as my Duke Frostheart.
So you're worried about the grumbly voice for Lucan. I'm worried about Aisha's whiny, high-pitched voice.
Oh, I think Light can do it. She whines every day. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? Anything you say to me, I'm going to punish your character.
That is meta. That is meta and power gaming and admin abuse.
I am a god.
I am a god. But yeah, so I think so those people were like spat out of a portal. They took a portal. They're safe for now, right? And I'm guessing that we'll see them at some point eventually, because one of them is connected to Victor. And that's his father. I don't think the rest of them really have any connection to anybody else, but they're of importance in one way or another.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Do you guys have anything else? Actually, I made mention when we first started that I wanted to talk to Neffy about the little project that she's doing. You were streaming today.
Yeah, we'll call it little.
Little. You were streaming today and you were working on some stuff and it looked really cool. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
I've been doing, and I will be doing on my channel. I'm basically doing mugs and dice boxes, and I keep saying if I can find my molds that I lost, I would be doing dice to go with them. Basically themed around each character so far. I haven't found anything for the captain yet, but I got everybody else, including Celeste, picked out and ready to go. And I'm excited because I like painting and watching everybody be really creative and hyped about the sessions and the characters, seeing the pixel art and listening to the music and watching Spellsy draw, made me want to do something too. And this is the best thing I can do.
Yeah, no, it was really awesome. I enjoyed seeing your work, and I'm excited to see all the things that you come up with. I also love it. I am with you there when everybody's getting. You can tell that they're having so much fun that they're doing things outside of the game, on their free time, because they enjoy the characters, because they're enjoying the campaign. I'm sure that that's a testament to the DM as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's
That
it's
is
been
my
great.
favorite DM.
Thanks.
Aww, don't suck up to the DM.
I'm
I'm
not.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Me and Spellsy have had a bad run of some bad DMs.
I have
and
as well,
some traumatic experiences. And Light, just her last campaign that we were in, she worked with me because I was in another D&D campaign that they overlapped by like 2 hours. So I ended up having to leave early in Light's session and end up late for my friend's session. And she worked with me so that it could work. And that, for me, is a testament of how great of a DM she is, because she really worked, and she made it work thematically with my character too, and everything that happened and why I was leaving early. And then that campaign ended like 3 sessions and I didn't have to use it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've also had my fair share of DMs. I think like a relationship with your DM is so important. I think it's more important than like your fellow players, because even though getting along with the rest of the group is important, characters can avoid each other if necessary, right? You can't help, but if you're not compatible with the DM, then you shouldn't be in that game. Like as simple as that, because it's so important for both the like DM mental health and for the players. And Light, I don't want her head to get too big, but she's been awesome. Sin and I talk about it all the time on how much we enjoy Light as a DM. So thank you, Light.
No, thanks. That actually brings a smile to my face, because that means I am doing a good job.
Oh yeah.
You're doing okay. Stay humble. I'm kidding.
That's it. He dies.
No. Next session I come in as a
That
druid
is something
because
that
Vaughn dead.
That is something that I am curious about on what happens if one of us does end up dying.
You all better have backup characters because I know that Sin and I do. Because it might happen.
I'll say this. It's kind of maybe a mini spoiler. There will be a moment in the campaign that I will warn you all. But that's all I'm going to say.
Oh boy. Permadeath. Yeah, Spelsy, same here. I've just got like concept ideas of I haven't like made out the characters or anything, but I have concept ideas of things that I want to do. Like Voren's a character that I've never really played before in DnD. Like I've never done a rogue. I always go bard or ranger. So I wanted to try something different. And my next character, if I need to, I'll probably try something different as well. But yeah.
I'm not so much on that aspect, but with our fates intertwined and everything, I wonder how that's going to affect like the story.
That is a very good point, actually. Well,
don't die.
Don't die, and we don't
I
have
don't
to find
plan
out.
on it. Magpie is living on by sheer spite and other things, but she is not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, I also don't appreciate the Voodoo Queen trying to bring up issues that Voren's not concerned about.
What do you mean?
It's like, you sure you don't want to know about like your childhood? No, fuck off. I didn't ask you for a reason.
How do you know if it was a childhood?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's like, I don't want to know anything. I'm happy where I am. Oh, you could have asked her about the moon. Yeah, missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Bad juju.
Bad juju. Okay, Light, I'm sorry for any comment I may have made. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it here. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Wait. I have one question.
Okay, go on.
Because I've asked, and this is for Neffy.
All right.
As I think we asked like before, if you had a choice of playing any of the NPCs that I've done, which one would it be?
Oh, that's hard for me. I'm not the type of person that likes like playing other characters. Like I like my own little comfy character place. Probably Meg. Meg or Celeste. I don't know that I would do Celeste justice. But I also like Meg seems very oh, I had the word and then it escaped my brain. She's very methodical, she's very focused, and she knows what she's doing. She's very capable. And there's a lot of sass there too. And she seems interesting for me.
There you go.
That or the mama cat.
Oh my god.
But I don't know how interesting it would be to play the mama cat.
Okay, and one of the questions
I can say it would be interesting.
One of the questions that we asked before was if for like one session you had to switch character with somebody else, what other character would you be comfortable with? I feel like saying Voren would be a cop-out.
No. I would say, honestly, maybe Victor, just so that Victor could walk a mile in Magpie's shoes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And vice versa, with as much as the two of them don't get along like oil and water. I think that would be like the most interesting, the most comfortable. I would probably say either Minerva or Euphemia, just because I'm a girl, they're a girl. I don't know if I can play both.
I get that. I think, I thought about this and I asked that question. I just think it's kind of fun. But how crazy would like a Freaky Friday session would be? we're like in each other's bodies. But we're not playing another character. We're playing our characters, but in somebody else's body. I think would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Whoever would play Magpie, she would try to figure out as quickly as possible, because there are things on Magpie she does not want other people to know about.
Oh boy. Yeah. God, that would be funny. All right.
Oh, yes, it would.
Don't get any ideas. I was just saying.
I don't know what
Now I want to see that happen.
It's like all of a sudden I'm a purple tiefling instead. Like fuck.
We'll see.
But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Neff, thank you for taking the time of coming on and talking about the episode and all the things. Light, as always, thank you for hanging out. Is there anything that you guys want to add? Like, where can they find you? Do you want to plug your stream?
Most people can find me anywhere by Nephidine. My Twitch name is Nephidine. My Twitch name is Nephidine. My Instagram name, I think, is Nephidine. Actually, I think my Instagram name is Nephidine Fallon. But yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I can't wait till the next time I can come on.
Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to have everybody on individually, and then we might just do like a group one. Although that might be a little chaotic, but we'll
That
see.
might be 2 hours.
Yeah. Maybe because we happen to do the first 5 right in one episode, so maybe when we go up to like I don't know 15, we'll try to talk about like the entirety of it just from the beginning. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys for hanging out, and we will see you all next time. Remember, we do the recap episodes on Monday just because they're easier for you to catch up than to watch the whole stream. But there is a YouTube playlist with all of the episodes, including the recaps, if you want to get caught up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on one of the panels in my Twitch channel so that it's easier to find. But you can just look up 9 Letter Studios on YouTube and you'll be able to find it. Yeah. So we'll see you all at 6:30 p.m. EST next Sunday for session 9.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can't wait.
See ya, guys. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.